सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुराः सुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। So now, today and tomorrow, we will talk something about the 10th chapter. So what does Lord Krishna say in 10th chapter? We will learn about it. The 10th chapter is called as Vibhuti Yoga. Okay. What is the meaning of Vibhuti? There are many meanings for Vibhuti. That sacred ash, that sacred ash which we apply, Goan has applied here, many of you have applied here, Lucky has applied. So all this, our sir has applied. So all this, those who apply this, that is also sacred ash is also called Vibhuti. But then there is another meaning for this word Vibhuti. Vibhuti means what? That which is outstanding, that which attracts your attention. Now, something very nice, it will attract you. Alva? Something beautiful, you will feel like looking at it. A huge tree, banyan tree, huge banyan tree, you will feel like looking at it. So, Vibhuti also means that which is extraordinary, that which is outstanding, that in which you can see a great deal of attraction. That is also called as Vibhuti. And what is Lord Krishna telling here in the 10th chapter? Lord Krishna wants to say that, see Arjuna, wherever you look in this world, what did Arjuna say? What did Krishna say? He said in 7th chapter and 9th chapter, what did he say? I am the cause of the whole world. I have discussed it. We have learnt it very much in detail. So what did Krishna say? He said, I am the apara prakriti, para prakriti, both together. I am the maker and the material of the whole world. Then a doubt will come for all of us. If Lord Krishna says, I am everything, I am the whole world, I am everything, where do we see you then? Hey Krishna, you say you are the whole world. But then I find it so difficult because whatever I see trees, I see plants, I see animals, I see people, I see buildings, I see vehicles, correct? But where are you? Where are you there in all that? I don't see you anywhere. So how do I recognize you? How do I make out that it is you wherever you are? So Lord Krishna said, look, you must be able to see me everywhere. But Arjuna, I understand that it is not very easy to find me in everything because you will find that you get distracted by all the objects that you see in the world. So you may not be able to find me in all of them or in any one of them. So what did Lord Krishna say? He said, Arjuna, I will tell you some of the most starkingly available things. Starking means what? Outstanding things. Things which stand out. Things which are very attractive. Things which are very, very huge. Things that are very, very famous in this whole world. And then I will name them one after another. Whenever you see any such thing, you remember me. Think that I am there behind that. And slowly what happens? When you start seeing me in those few things which I am going to tell you, then very slowly you will start seeing me everywhere. So as a practice, I will tell you, do this, see this, and then you understand that I am there in that. So what is Bhagwan doing now? He is enumerating all his glories. Glory, alva? Elrigu namdral one vishesha irutte, alva? There is some vaishishtyam, vishesha is there. Somebody stands out in something. Supposing you have a famous, a very good football player in your school. So the moment he appears or he comes, you all feel, this good, this our leader, or our team, he leads our team, the leader of our team. So you see that kind of that person stands out, correct? A very intelligent person, a very intelligent child. Everybody recognizes that child as, oh, this is an intelligent person. He gets first rank always. He's going to get first rank in the SLC exam, PUC exam. So what is it? In a group of people, some people become very prominent. Some people stand out. So some people have various kinds of glories in them. So what does Bhagwan say? If you look in the Jagat, if you look at the world, there are lot of such things, Arjuna. Correct? Lot of things are there which are very big, which are glorious, famous. Okay? Glorious things are there. Things which will make you open your mouth and anta. You feel like just looking at them. There are such glorious things in the world. So Krishna wants to say, like wonders of the world. Have you heard of wonders of the world? There used to be 7 wonders, 8 wonders. Now how many wonders are there? We don't know. Like supposing you see Taj Mahal. You see Taj Mahal. If you have seen, or if you see in the picture of Taj Mahal, you get, Abba, ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? It's so nice, so beautiful. Like that, there are so many things in this world. When you look at them, they stand out. They're glorious. They're very attractive. And what Bhagwan says is, look Arjuna, in such glorious things, in such attractive things, try to see me. Then it will be easy for you to see me in such glorious things. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು ಮಹತ್ವಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿದೆಯೋ, try to see me in that. Therefore, I am going to enumerate a number of those things in this universe which stand out. Okay, so what did Krishna say in the, I'll straight away go to the 19th verse of the 10th chapter. Though I said 20th, we'll start from 19th verse. What did he say? Bhagwan say, Shri Bhagavan uvācha, hanta te kathayiṣhyāmi divyā hyātma-vibhūtayaḥ prādhānyataḥ kuru-śhreṣhṭha nāstyanto vistarasya me. So, hey Arjuna, now I am going to tell you, now I am going to enumerate all the divine glories of mine which you see in the world around you. Whenever you see any divine glorious thing in the world, think that I am there in that. Slowly you will start getting the habit of seeing me in everything. But then, Arjuna, how can I tell you all my glories? Because there is no end to my glories. There is no end to that vishesha that I am. There are millions of things in this whole world. Anything that is there is glorious. Our own sun, glorious, no? How much light our sun gives. From so many light years away, millions of light years away our sun is. But in summer, what is the heat of that sun? That is the glory of Ishvara. What is the light of the sun? We can't even open our eyes and look at our sun at 11 o'clock in the morning. That is glory of Ishvara. If you see a big river like Ganga or Brahmaputra, how that river is flowing, isn't it? We can't even think of it. That is the glory of Ishvara. When you see a huge ocean, that water, huge water expands there in the ocean. What is it? It is glory of Ishvara. How all the seasons are coming one after another, day is coming after night. The whole world is functioning in such a definite, very disciplined manner, correct? The whole world is functioning. in such a disciplined manner. There is a law of gravity. Everybody falls down. Some of us don't go up. No, whatever drops, it falls down. So unfailing gravitational pull is there. That is what? Glory of Ishvara. Correct? Huh? This air is flowing, this wind is flowing and helping us to take the oxygen in and breathe and keeping us alive, Vayu, in the form of prana. What is that? That is the glory of Ishvara. Correct? Huh? When you sow a seed in the soil, what do? You sow the seed and then you just put water on that. That's all. But how the seed grows by itself, how it becomes a sapling, how it becomes a plant, and then from one small seed, it becomes a big tree. What is it? It is the glory. It is the glory or Vishesha of Ishvara. Correct? So in this way, whatever we see, which is running in a very, very disciplined manner, correct? Huh? The whole world, isn't it? See, the earth is rotating in its own axis around the sun. All the planets are rotating in their own axis. There is no tucker there. There is no dashing. Correct? Supposing one day Earth decides why I should move in this orbit, I will go to Mercury planet's orbit, and it goes into Mercury's orbit and collides with Mercury planet. What will happen? Such things don't happen. Correct? So, in Bhagwan's world, in Ishvara's, in God's world, nothing, no accident can happen. Okay? Everything is functioning in a perfect manner. And that is my glory. That is my bigness. And Arjuna, I will enumerate certain things. So what does he say? There is no end to my glories. There is no end to the wonderful things in this world which represent me. There is no end. Therefore, prādhānyataḥ. I will give you a few examples of how so many glorious things in this world are because of me. Then we'll go to the 20th verse. And what does Krishna say here? Aham ātmā guḍākeśha sarva-bhūtāśhaya-sthitaḥ aham ādiśh madhyaṁ bhūtānām anta eva. So hey Arjuna, hey guḍākeśha. See, Lord Krishna is addressing Arjuna as guḍākeśha. What is the meaning of guḍākeśha? Guḍāka means sleep. Guḍākeśha means a person who has a control or who has won over his sleep. So it seems Arjuna had so much control over his sleep. Okay? That he could control his sleep. He wouldn't fall asleep like that. Why? Because when he was in the forests and all that for years together, he had to protect his family. So he could not simply fall asleep like that. Secondly, all those shastras and astras, all those ammunition which he had, all those, whatever this Gandiva he had, arrows he had, bow he had, Pashupatastra he had, all those things, they were all divine weapons. All Arjuna's weapons were what? Divine weapons given by gods, and they had to be kept alive by chanting mantras to keep them alive. They were all divine weapons which had to be kept by chanting so many mantras, doing pujas to those weapons. So Arjuna had to do that every day. So it seems Arjuna was in total control of his sleep. He could sleep, get up anytime, even without sleep he could manage. So he had won over the sleep. So for us, what happens? Sleep controls us, no? We have no control over our sleep. Sleep will take us. Sometime even sitting in the class, we will be dozing. Whereas for Arjuna, it is not like that. Arjuna has control and won over the sleep. That's why he was called as guḍākeśha. So, hey guḍākeśha, Arjuna, now who am I? I am the ātmā in all the beings. Aham ātmā-guḍākeśha, he says. What's the meaning? I've already talked to you about ātmā. I've already talked to you about Bhagavān is the Atma. There is one Atma in everybody, consciousness in everybody. All that we have discussed in the 4th chapter. Correct? So Lord Krishna said, I am that Atma. Hey Arjuna, what you call as Atma in all the living beings. Who is that Atma? I am that Atma. And sarva-bhūtāśhaya-sthitaḥ, in all the living beings, I am there in the form of consciousness, in the form of life. I am the Atma of every jiva. And who am I? Because of me, the jivas or the various living beings come into existence. They exist here and then they die away. So I am the beginning of all the living beings. And I am the one who sustains all the living beings. And at the time of their end, I am the one who withdraws all these living beings. And then next he goes on telling like that for the next 25-30 verses till the end of this chapter. 45 shlokas are there. Only Krishna is talking about his glories. Krishna is talking about wonderful things in this universe which represent him. Okay, then we'll take up the 22nd verse now. I'm not taking all the shlokas. In the 22nd he says then, vedānāṁ sāma-vedosmi, devānām asmi vāsavaḥ, indriyāṇāṁ manaśh chāsmi, bhūtānām asmi cetana. So how do you recognize me, Arjuna? Whatever you see, something which is standing out, something which is glorious, something which is attractive, understand that it is me. And he says among all the 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Sāma-vedo, Atharvana-veda. There are 4 Vedas, correct? Among all these 4 Vedas, I am Sāma-veda. Why does Krishna talk that he is Sāma-veda? Because it is said that among all the 4 Vedas, when you chant the Vedas, in Sāma-veda, the Veda is chanted in a musical manner. Okay? So the same Rigveda only is chanted in musical way, in musical tone. That is why it is called as Sāma-veda. So Krishna says that beautiful Sāma-veda, when you hear the chanting of the Sāma-veda, that happiness that you feel, the happiness that you enjoy, that peace of mind that you get when you listen to Sāma-veda. Okay? So that beauty of that Sāma-veda, I am. Therefore, whenever you listen to the chanting of Sāma-veda, you can be reminded of me. Of course, all the 4 Vedas are me. But when you listen to a beautiful Vedic chanting, think of me. Devānām asmi vāsavaḥ. Vāsavaḥ means Lord Indra. Indra gottala? Devādi Deva. He is the God of all gods. He is the king of all gods. He is called Devendra. Alva? Isn't it? You have heard, no, Sharad? You have heard that, isn't it? That the name of the king of all the devas is called as Indra. Correct? So Indra's another name is Vāsavaḥ. So he says, among gods, I am the most famous. I am the king of all gods. Whenever you think of Indra, you think of me. Indra, Lord of the Devas, is my glory. Indriyāṇāṁ manaśh chāsmi. Among all the sense organs, I am the mind, he says. Why? The mind has the capacity to do so many things, correct? The hand can work only if the mind tells the hand to work, correct? The speech can happen only if the mind tells the organ of speech to speak. That means the mind is the controller or the Raja of all the sense organs. Okay? Therefore, when you think of the capacity of the mind, isn't it? What kind of capacity our mind has, correct? Isn't it? We can solve problems. We can go from here to there in 1 second. Our mind can travel from here to somewhere. Isn't it? We can remember what happened so many years ago. We can solve problems. We can teach. So many things we can do. Isn't it? The power of the mind. Especially when you see intelligent people. Like you see that chess master, what intelligence he has. Correct? Huh? What is that mind which has so much intelligence? Isn't it? There are so many people who can remember everything without even making any effort. You have heard of Shakuntala Devi? You have heard of that lady Shakuntala Devi? You know, you give her any mathematical problem you give her, within a few seconds she will tell you. You ask her, 215675 into 987564. Tup, she will give you the answer. From where it has come? It is the capacity of the mind, the capacity of the buddhi. So, Krishna says, among the entire body, the mind is the most important thing, isn't it? You have everything. If you don't have your mind functioning properly, what is the use? Your body also cannot work. Isn't it, Sankalp? Isn't that true? Correct, Alva? Mind sari idre tane ella other parts of the body can work. So mind is the most glorious of all the parts of the body. So Krishna says, whenever the mind is working in a glorious way, think that I am there. Bhūtānām asmi chetana. That life in all the living beings I am. Chetana means what? Life. A living being. When do you call something a living being? When there is life in that being. What is indicative of life? Movement is there, correct? Supposing you see an ant moving, life is there, correct? It is a living being. Supposing you see an ant not moving at all, just fallen like that, there is no life in that, it's a dead ant, correct? So, who am I? I am that life principle. I am the life in all the living beings. So, this is my glory. Just imagine, all of us are alive, correct? Millions of beings are alive, not only human beings. There are millions of animals, plants. There are so many jivas under the sea. There are so many jivas in the mountains. We haven't even seen them. We don't even know. 84 lakhs of varieties of living beings. And that life principle in all these living beings, who is it? It is me. So when a living being is functioning, what should I think of? It is Bhagavān. It is God working in everybody as the life principle. Correct? Then he goes on talking like that about so many things. And then in the 25th verse, he comes to what? He says, Maharshīṇāṁ bhruguraham giramasyekamāksharam yajñāṇāṁ japa-yajñosmi sthāvarāṇāṁ himalayah. So he says, among all the maharshis, you know how many lot of maharshis are there, isn't it? Vashishtadi, so many maharshis are there. Who are these maharshis? Can we name some of the maharshis? Bhrigu Maharishi, Marichi Maharishi, Atri Maharishi, Pulastya Maharishi, Kratu Maharishi, Gautama Maharishi, Bhrigu Maharishi. So many maharshis are there, correct? But then among them, Krishna says, I am Bhrigu Maharshi. Why does he say that? There is an interesting story of Bhrigu Maharshi. Okay? Now, Bhrigu Maharshi was the only Maharshi, he's a human being. But Bhrigu Maharshi had the courage to test Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. He wanted to test them as to who gets angry first. Okay? How angry our gods are. Who? Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. How much is their patience level? Bhrigu wanted to test. So what did he do? He went to Shiva first. And we know that Lord Shiva gets angry very fast, correct? So he tried to irritate him, ask him something. Lord Shiva got angry. Then he went to Lord Brahma. There also he tried to ask something and Lord Brahma also got angry, irritated and angry. Then he went to Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. And what did he do there to irritate Lord Vishnu? He kicked Vishnu in his chest, Bhrigu. He kicked him with his leg. He kicked Vishnu in his chest. But what did Vishnu do? He did not get angry. he held that leg of the rishi and did puja, pada puja he did. And he said that mark will remain. Srivatsa, we call that, no? That mark of your foot will always remain on my chest. So it is said that Lord Vishnu carries that mark of Bhrigu Maharishi's leg on his chest. Okay, so Bhrigu was the Maharshi who had the courage to test the three big gods' patience, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva's patience. Therefore, Krishna says, I am Bhrigu Maharishi. When you think of Bhrigu Maharishi, when you listen to Bhrigu Maharishi, he is the exalted one. I am there in all Maharishis. I am the manifestation of everything. But no, these are glorious people. These are the glorious things which should remind you of me. So, Maharshinam Bhriguram Giram Asmi Ekam Aksharam. Among words, all the words, how many words are there? Thousands of words we are using. No, word means what? Shabdagalu. The words which come out when we speak. How many words are there? In the dictionary only, if we see, in any language dictionary, there are thousands of words. Other than the dictionary words also, there are so many words, isn't it? In every language, there are so many words. So see, all the languages spoken in the world, take all of them. And in every language, if there are X a number of words, then all the languages together, how many words will be there? Isn't it? Millions and millions of words. But what is said is, among all these words, there is one word which is Eka Aksharam. And what is that word? Which is the most sacred word in all languages, among all the words spoken. Krishna says, Om, Omkara is the most sacred word. Okay, that is why we people say Om before we start anything. Before we do the japa, we say Om. Correct? Before we chant anything, we say Om. Correct? When we end something, then also we say Om. Because for us in Sanatana Dharma, for us in our scriptures, Omkara is considered to be the most sacred, most exalted, most glorious word. Therefore, Arjuna, in and among all the millions of words, I am Omkara. I am that word Om. And then he says, Yajñāṇāṁ japa-yajñosmi. Among all the yajñas, so many yajñas are done, no? Small yajñas, big yajñas, medium-sized yajñas. You have seen so many in your ashram also. Many times yajñas are done, isn't it? Like during Dasara, every day the yajña is done. Then Rudra is done, puja with yajña. Correct? And then at home also, many of our elders do what? They do Gayatri, that is also a type of worship or yajna. Agnihotra, some people do, that is also a type of yajna. So there are small yajnas, big yajnas. Yajna means what? Worship. Yajna means worshipping the Lord. So among all these yajnas, all the worship, he says, the best among them is what? He said japa-yajño. Japa. You all are doing, no? You are all in the morning when you get up, when with your prayers, then you are doing some japa, isn't it? You have been taught, no? That we repeat the name of Lord. We repeat the name of God, our Ishta Devata. Supposing Shiva is my Ishta Devata, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So I do that japa. Those people who have already had Upanayanam, what will you do, children? Gayatri japa. Correct? Gayatri japa. You will do Sandhya Vandana and you will do Gayatri japa. Correct? And those who are Devi, who are Bhaktas of Devi, they will do Devi japa. Those who have Sri Rama as their, God or their personal God or Ishta Devata, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram. This is what? Japa, correct? Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We go on repeating it 108 times minimum. Correct? We use the Japamala and 108 times we will repeat the name of Lord. That is called as japa-yajña. And Lord Krishna says japa-yajña is the most sacred and the best of all the yajñas. Why? Because japa-yajña, you don't need anybody else. In all the other yajñas, you need who? You need an archaka, you need a pujari, you need so many things, no? How can you do a yajna without material? You have lot of things which you need, correct? You need somebody to do that for you. You have to spend a lot of money. What do you need for japa? You need only 10 minutes of your time. You don't need anybody's help. You just have to sit in a corner, close your eyes. You need only yourself for the japa. You don't need any other material. You don't need help from anybody. You don't have to spend money. And what is the result of japa? It is great. Chitta Shuddhi. Okay, our mind is made subtler so that we can understand what Bhagavān is, what God is. Therefore, I am the greatest of all the yajñas. I am the japa-yajña. And Arjuna, Sthavaranam Himalayah. Among all the mountains in the world, I am the Himalaya. He says, that is the very size, the peaks of Himalaya, if you have seen, they're like, one after another peaks and the height of Himalayas. So Krishna says, among all the mountains, Sthavara means here, among all the mountains, who am I? I am the Himalaya. Then he comes to other very, very important things. In the 26th verse, he says, Ashvattha sarva-vrikṣhāṇāṁ devarshīṇāṁ ca nāradaha gandharvāṇāṁ chitrarathah siddhānāṁ kapilo munihi. So here, sarva-vrikṣhāṇāṁ ashvattha. Have you seen an ashvattha tree, a banyan tree? You have seen, no? Banyan tree. I'm sure it must be there in your ashram. Yeah, Gandharva has seen that. Many of you have seen banyan tree. Those who are in and around Bangalore, big banyan tree, Dodda Aladmara, you have seen that, no? Many of you would have seen that. Correct, Jankar? You have seen that. Correct. So, how is that? What is that? It's a huge tree. You don't know which is the stem. You don't know which is the root. Which is the primary stem. You don't know. The whole tree stretches for such a big area. And there are so many secondary roots there, secondary things falling like this. Which is the original? We don't know. And in that tree, what all is there? How many animals are there? How many birds are there? That tree is a home to so many birds, so many butterflies, squirrels, okay? And all these lizards, monkeys, all kinds of insects, correct? So it is a whole world by itself, and Aladmara is a whole world by itself. So he says, among all the trees, think, I am that exalted banyan tree, Ashvattha. Okay, I am the Ashvattha tree. Okay, because of its very size. It's also called as Vatavriksha. It's also called as Vatavriksha. And how do we say it in botany? You all must be studying botany, some of you know. It is called as ficus tree. It is called as Ficus religiosa. In botany, we have a genus name and a species name, isn't it? Those who are in the 9th and 10th will know. So, this Ashvattha is called as Ficus religiosa. Okay. So, I am that, what? Ashvattha sarva-vrikṣhāṇāṁ devarshīṇāṁ ca nāradaha. I am Narada among all the Deva Rishis. Among all the human Rishis, he said, I am manifesting as Bhrigu Rishi. But what about Deva Rishis? Deva Rishi means those Rishis which are there in the Devaloka. Among all the Deva Rishis, who am I? I am Narada. Very famous, no? Isn't Narada very famous? Why is he very famous? He does not need a passport. He does not need a visa. He can go from loka to loka whenever he wants, wherever he wants. Nobody can stop him. Okay? He can go from Swarga Loka to Gandharva Loka to Pitra Loka to Bhūloka to Patala Loka. Wherever he wants, he can go. And like this, in a second, he is there wherever he wants. So among all the Deva Rishis, think of me as Narada. And Gandharvanam Chitrarathaha. Who's Chitraratha? He is an exalted, being. There are many of there above the human beings, there are many other jivas, and some of them are called Gandharvas, Karma Devas, okay, Devas, Pitrus, Sadhyas, Siddhas. All these are variety of jivas. And like our Gandharva here, there is one group of people, exalted people called Gandharvas. And what are these Gandharvas known for? They are known for their art. Okay, they play good music. They sing very well. Okay, that's why we say Gandharva Gana. When somebody sings very well, we say, oh, yo, this must be a Gandharva who has come, who is singing so well. And Gandharvas are also supposed to be wonderful architects. They are architects. They are able to create wonderful cities and wonderful houses. And you know who's Chitraratha? When, the Pandavas came back after completing their Vanavasa, when they came back, and when Khandava Vana was given to them before they went to the forest again, there, this Chitraratha was the Gandharva, the celestial architect, the architect of heaven. He created that beautiful palace for the Pandavas. You know what happened in that palace, no? When Kauravas came and when, our Duryodhana slipped because he didn't know whether it was water or glass or what. And then Draupadi laughed at him. Correct? So, beautiful palace. Who built that palace? It is Chitraratha. So, among all the Gandharvas, I am the celestial or heavenly architect called as Chitraratha. And Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. Siddha means what? Those who are from the birth, those who are jnanis, those who have come out as wise people from the time of birth itself, like Vamadeva, Kapila Muni. These are all people who are born wise. We all become how? We are not born wise. Later on, if we may become wise or we may not also. But then Siddhanam, those who were born as wise people, among those, I am Kapila Muni. Kapila Muni is one of them, one of the Munis, one of the Rishis, who when he was born only, he was a Jnani. He was a Sthita Prajna. There are many like that. Ashtavakra is one of them. Ashtavakra Muni is one of them. Vamadeva is one of them. Shuka Muni is one of them. Then it is here Kapila Muni. They are all born as Sthita Prajnas. Okay? They are born as Sthita Prajnas. Then you have all, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanat Kumaras. They were also people who were Siddhas. So those who are born with this knowledge, those who are born as people who are Sthita Prajnas. Among them, Kapila Muni is considered to be very, very great. So among all these Siddhas, I am Kapila Munihi. 1 minute is there. So in this, there are not much of questions. So in the 27th verse, which I want to take the last verse, which is 27th shloka. What does Bhagavān say? Uchchai shravasam vidhi mamamrutodbhavam airavatam gajendranam naranam cha naradhipam. So it seems when Samudra Mathana was done, have you heard of that? The Devas and the Asuras, what did they do? They wanted to churn the Samudra to get Amritam out of that. You know that story, correct? Amrita Mathanam or Samudra Mathanam. At that time, many things came. Many good things came. And it is said that a white horse came, whose name was Uchchashravas. And there only Airavatam, that white elephant also came. So both these Uchchashravas and Airavatam, went to Indra. He took them as his vahana. So he says, Uchchaishravas Ashvana Aham. Among all the horses, I am that great exalted Uchchaishravas which came out during Samudra Mathanam. And among all the elephants, who am I? Airavatam. Airavata is what? That sacred elephant which is the Vahana of Indra. Indra is a very powerful person, isn't it? So Indra should have a powerful Vahana. Correct? Therefore, Indra has a Vahana called as Airavatam. He should have a horse which runs very fast, powerful horse. So Uchchaishravas, the horse also belongs to Indra. So Gajendranam, among all the elephants, who am I? I am Airavatam. And Naranam cha Naradhipam. I am the king among all the human beings. Supposing we have a particular place where there are people. Who is the greatest of them? The king of that land is the greatest, correct? So different lands are there, different countries are there, and the king of that country is the most exalted one, most famous one. So among people, I am the king. Wherever people are, wherever countries are, I am the king of every place. So what is Krishna trying to say here? He's saying that though I am everything, though everything that is there in the world is me, you can think of me when you think of all these objects or things which stand out, those glorious things, those big things, those famous things when you come across, then you can remember me. This way you will get the practice of seeing me in everything. So today we stop here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.